Hi there, welcome to Isle on Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Capricorn energy. And for this round, we're going to do this 10 card spread. And we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because some people harness high vibe Capricorn energy, some people harness a shadowy Capricorn energy, some harness a more worldly focused Capricorn energy. You know, we're all at different stages in life. We're motivated and inspired by different things at different times in our life. People who harness high vibe Capricorn are balanced within themselves. They're motivated and inspired. You know, love is a driving factor in their life. Everybody puts work and effort to have stability and security and enjoy the finer things in life, but they've realized that love is what makes it all worthwhile. And there's some people in the world that are either at a phase of life where they're more motivated by these things of the world. It's just a phase that they're in, building up maybe their career or something like that. But then there's other people where the world and the things of the world are more important to them. Lust, greed, pride, ego, image, money, indulgence. And then some people are shadowy and it's just to try to manipulate people to get them to do what they want in a relationship, you know. Shadowy Capricorn is represented by the devil. We all tap into Capricorn energy. So have we freed ourselves from things that manipulate us? Sometimes we freed ourselves from more things than some other people have freed themselves from, you know. We've all learned different lessons in life. So we kind of like to hang out with people who are on the same page as us. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story and how you harness your Capricorn energy and how other people in your life harness their Capricorn energy, because we kind of like to hang out with people who are on the same page as us. Kind of the same maturity level, the same kind of having some of the same perspectives in life, motivated and inspired by some of the same things. And the truth sets us free. We just need to see the truth about what drives and motivates some people, you know, what they find is victorious in life. Some people think it's being in emotionally stable, grounded, loving, authentic relationships, and some people don't. Okay, I kind of view this card as the overarching reason for the reading, the Judgment card. The last reading I did was Cancer. They had that in the same position, pretty sure. You know, there's consequences for our actions. Some people don't think, they think they can cheat the system, that they can maybe just confuse people about the truth of who they are, be deceptive, be manipulative, be immature, be bossy, be whatever, shadowy. And they think they can just keep getting away with it. But, you know, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And they're probably going to have some high vibe people that are going to distance themselves from them. So, Judgment is the overarching reason for the reading. And we start out with the Tower card, the Hangman, and the Virgo Hermit. So, for people that are in the midst of something right now, something could be going on, either coming into some truth, some realization, some different way of viewing life, kind of grasping some concept, or there's people in your life that are doing something and you could have thought, with the last card being the Ten of Pentacles, you could have thought, and the reason for underneath the Tower is also 2 cards of Virgo energy. It could have been realizing that some of the people that we've been in some sort of relationship with, whether that's work, friends, family, romantic relationship, we could realize that we harness our Virgo energy differently. We could realize that some people are very much about money and materialism and status and image. Some people could be very unstable underneath that with the Hangman. That can be people who are very stubborn and prideful, unwilling to look at life from any other perspective. And sometimes we can work with people in some regard. And initially we weren't maybe realizing how stubborn and prideful they were, and maybe how materialistic they were, or how attached they are to something. Can be other people in their life. It could be their original family. It could be a friend group. It could be a workplace. But there's something in their world that really kind of manipulates them, that maybe stops them from moving forward in life in a more enlightened way, a more stable, grounded, mature way. Let's go look at that. What could the Tower card be about for some people? Gosh, it's a lot. Okay. The Queen of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the Fool, the Nine of Swords, the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Swords again, and the Ace of Cups. And the reason it came out is because of the Five of Pentacles. Okay. So the Five of Pentacles can have to do with our philosophy of life. You know, we get into relationships. The Queen of Swords can talk about the dreams that we have. And we can think people are willing to move forward with us, like detach from an old way of being. That can be the Tower card. And some people could be surprised that some people did detach from an old foundation. Because the Five of Pentacles comes after the Four of Pentacles, something we were holding on to. People could have felt betrayed. Some people feel betrayed because other people changed. But it has to do with kind of our philosophy of life. If we're willing to move forward and heal and grow and mature ourselves, learn lessons in life, try to look at things from other people's perspectives, or if we're not. Shadowy Five of Pentacles would be people who are like, I have a certain way of viewing life, and that's the way I'm going to keep moving forward. And it can be inflexible, unbudging, you know? And if that's fine, if you're living your own life, but if you're going to work together with other people, well, now other people have their ideas of what the dream life, workplace, friendship looks like. And it's to compromise, you know, that we have this common goal. Not everybody can be stubborn and prideful and egotistical and just want it their way. Some people are up in their head about a workplace, a job, or someone in their family, someone they thought would be a more emotionally mature person, maybe someone they are married to, someone they were thinking of marrying. And it's like, are we going to go on this journey or are we not? Is everybody willing to look at life from a higher perspective? Is everybody willing to learn lessons in life and grow and heal and mature themselves? Are we going to move forward in this working cooperatively together? But sometimes some people will go on the journey for a period of time and then it's like, eek, no, I want to go back and do it this way. I don't want to go this way any further. I'm up in my head about maybe being more authentically myself, being more bold and brave and confident, where I would have to look at life from a higher perspective. And I'd maybe have to take that cup of higher love to face my fears about stepping outside my comfort zone and looking at life differently, and maybe have hope and faith and belief and love. And some people could just now be realizing that about some people in their life, that, you know, I don't think we're on the same page. You might want to keep moving forward in a relationship. I might want to keep moving forward in a relationship. But why? Is it because more of ego, image, status, money, stability, security, or is it love? What is the truth? The Virgo Hermit is about going within to see the truth. Sometimes, you know, we can get in relationships with people and we all think we view life the same way. And some people who never plan to go within to look at some of the things they like to keep hidden in the dark, maybe that they do align with their more shadowy nature, their fear, their insecurity, their immature nature, their prideful nature, their defensive nature. And they can get in relationships with people and they think you're never going to look at the things you keep hidden in the dark either. I think we're going to move forward in this relationship and we're going to do life the way we've been doing it forever. And some of those people are in relationships with some people who felt stuck. And they wondered, why do I feel stuck in this relationship? What's going on, you know? And so then they go within themselves to kind of work through some issues of their own. Why do I feel stuck in this relationship? And especially if something did happen where maybe someone, it was kind of revealed that someone is defensive to moving forward in a relationship. Didn't expect that. Maybe someone is more egotistical or materialistic than we thought, and we didn't expect that. But something happened that makes us maybe look at things differently than we had looked at before. Because that's what the hangman is about. It's like, wow, I didn't think you looked at life from that perspective. I didn't know you might have had this different idea of what the dream life looks like or the dream relationship looks like. Or I just feel stuck and I did some inner work. And then when other people do some inner work and they're willing to hold themselves accountable for their actions, well, then they're going to act differently in a relationship. And some people did this work on their own unstable foundation. They worked through some of their fears and their insecurities and their self-limiting beliefs. And then they were inspired by love and to maybe want a more just and fair relationship, or they started to be more inspired by love and being more just and fair in a relationship. And then their partners can be like, why are you acting like that? You know, you've changed. You're different. You know, you're not the same person you were before. Before, you kind of used to maybe be kind of stubborn. You know, why? What changed? You know, it's just all these things that when one person changes in a relationship dynamic, it affects the whole dynamic because people aren't acting the same way that they did before. Some people are just acting more loving and more just and fair, and the other people are like, why are you acting like that? Because if you're acting like that, you're probably going to want me to act like that. And maybe before, we were all operating out of some pride and ego, and we had some issues that we just didn't deal with, but you seem to have dealt with yours. How'd that happen? Well, there's a lot of things. The Tower is like a universe card. So is the Hangman, and so is the Virgo energy, where the divine can use all sorts of things to make us look at life differently. Books, movies, music, other people that we see in the world, that it just kind of makes us look at life differently. And it's like, why do I keep living my life like this? I have free will. You know what? I'm going to be happy. Why am I like maybe belittling or berating myself? Why am I being stubborn? Why am I being maybe bossy or controlling or defensive to love? And then when they become maybe more inspired by love and wanting things to be more just and fair and balanced in a relationship, well, then the people that they're in a relationship with is like, this has all changed. I don't know why you've changed. You know, before you might have been kind of detached in the Queen of Swords. Now you seem to be in the King of Swords. You seem to have kind of grown or healed or matured yourself. But again, now that you've changed, now you might want me to change. And sometimes some people in our life are like, I don't like that. You're different. I don't like that you're not the person that you were before. I liked it maybe when you felt stuck and when you were maybe more defensive. The Queen of Swords can actually be feeling betrayed. And when people are in relationships with other people and could have even gotten in the relationship because they felt betrayed by someone else, and get in the relationship because I do feel stuck and I might be trying to prove a point, and I might have been more emotionally manipulative in a relationship, and I might have been more cold and detached or bossy and controlling, and now something could have happened where just people realized, I don't want to live my life like that. And I do want a more loving, nurturing, authentic, inspired relationship, and I'm willing to be more loving and more just and fair in a relationship. And you'd think, if you free yourself from some of the things that manipulate you, that open you up to being more authentically yourself, more confident within yourself, more loving and giving of yourself. You'd kind of think people would be happy about that, but not everybody is. Because again, the truth sets us free. It's kind of like you have to go through these different lessons in life to go to the next phase of life. And some people freed themselves from something that had them stuck. And they did this inner work and they kind of like freed themselves from it. You know, I've let go. I worked through some of my past pain and heartbreak and some of my self-limiting beliefs, and those things are no longer having the impact on me that they used to have. And I am more free to be more authentically myself, a little more confident in the world, a little more inspired. And there can be people in your life who don't like that. Because they liked it when you were more feeling defensive or betrayed or stuck or in your ego or in your fear. Because that could be how they're used to being in a relationship with people, and maybe the type of people they like to be in a relationship with. And again, it could require them to be more just and fair in the relationship, and they might not like that either. So some people could be having a problem in a relationship with the 8 of Cups, the 9 of Wands, and the 10 of Pentacles. Some people want to move forward in life differently. The 8 of Cups walks away from the 7 of Cups. I could have been caught up in these certain things that kind of manipulated me, and I offered myself a cup of love. And I kind of saw through the illusion of it, and I saw how those things manipulated me. And now I want to be happy. I have become independent of those things. And maybe it was learning to love themselves. Because that's true independence and true freedom, when you know how to give yourself the things that you wish other people would have given you, to be free of the past, reconcile yourself with the past. I accept that everybody is where they were at. Everybody was at their own maturity level. Everybody had their own pain and heartbreak, you know. I had my own lessons learned. They had their lessons learned. I just let it all go. And I choose to give myself the things, the love and the compassion and the forgiveness that I wish other people would have given me, and I'm going to give it to myself, and I'm going to become independent of letting those things manipulate me. And for some people, what was manipulating them was their mind. You know, our mind was created to protect ourselves, and sometimes the biggest thing that people are protecting themselves from nowadays, because it's not like we got just wild animals roaming around the world like we did back in the day when we were maybe caveman people. You know, now the biggest fear is love, or being authentically ourselves, living our own life, living our own truth. And I think that takes time in your life to become more authentically yourself and get clear about what your truth is. And we get in these relationships with all these different people to help us get clear about what our truth is. And some of the people that we got in relationships with, we realized, and some people are just realizing, this is not my truth. I thought it was. I could have liked living my life like this for a certain period of time, a long period of time. But I've just kind of looked at life differently. And the Queen of Swords can be looking at life from a higher perspective. I just expanded my perception of myself and the world around me and what I believe is possible. And, you know, having more hope and faith and belief in myself and in my dreams and in love, and that I can heal. And they realized it started within them. Sometimes we can look to all these other people in the world for them to love us. And sometimes those relationships don't work out and we feel stuck and we wonder why. And then it's like, well, do I do love, or am I defensive to love because I'm afraid of being hurt? Do I love myself? Do I reject people who want to love me because I kind of reject me? Anyway, somehow they offered themselves a cup of love to be more independent of things that used to manipulate them. And they've also been inspired to stand up for themselves and what they believe in the Nine of Wands. And High Vibe Nine of Wands is about higher learning and education. That, I kind of wrap my brain around some things. I was inspired to do some of this inner work and look at some of those things that I maybe before I didn't even realize were something that was keeping me stuck or keeping me defensive, or not even realizing I need to learn to love myself. And why don't I love myself? Why we've all went through things in our life that didn't turn out the way we wanted, that make us feel betrayed. Well, we can either stay stuck in our pride and ego, like taking it personally, or we just deal with the truth of it. How did I contribute to that not working out? Okay, take accountability for myself. What about the other people I was in a relationship with? Was it all me? Was it me who needed to grow up and mature? Okay, I'm going to grow up and mature myself. What kind of people was I in a relationship with? Do I feel stuck and rejected and betrayed because I was in a relationship with people who had some shadowy traits and characteristics? Well, did I know they had those shadowy traits and characteristics when I got in a relationship with them, but I just thought they would change? People don't change that easily. It's very hard to change our habits and our patterns and the way we view life. And so if we learned I got in a relationship with someone who's defensive or stubborn, well, how about next time I'm going to go get in a relationship and I meet someone who seems to be defensive and prideful and stubborn, I don't get in a romantic relationship with them until I see that they have freed themselves from that, because I've already been in relationships with people who are like that. Are they more materialistic and ego-focused? I've already been in relationships with people who are more driven by indulgence or materialism or self-centeredness or something. I'm not going to get in a relationship with someone like that again. They stay in the friend category. Are we willing to deal with the truth? And the truth sets us free, that people get out of their illusions and fantasy land. And they stand up for themselves and what they believe in. And part of coming into contact with all these people and these different people was to get us to stand in our truth and stand up for ourselves and what we believe in. But initially we didn't maybe really know what we should stand up and believe in. Do I have the right to stand up for myself? And we got to go through all these life experiences even to get there. But some people have gotten there. And they're defending their foundation and what they bring to the table. I have learned these lessons in life. And if I have freed myself from some of my more immature ways of being, my more stubborn way of being, my more defensive way of being, my more ego-worldly way of being, and I've learned lessons in life about how to work cooperatively in love with people in a just and fair way, I deserve to be in relationships with people who've learned those same lessons in life. And maybe I've been staying or getting in relationships with people who aren't there. And they do have these more, they still got some lessons learned in life. And it's I'm done getting in relationships with people who haven't learned some of these lessons in life. And I'm no longer going to keep indulging them in their shadowy ways of being. I'm leaving. And I'm going to stand up for myself and my foundation and what I bring to the table. My more loving, nurturing, stable, grounded, creative, inspired, passionate nature. Not anybody can just be in a relationship with me, because I now do value and appreciate what I bring to the table. Maybe before I didn't. We can all want to be in relationships, and sometimes we have some lessons to learn in the Fool card. We want to be in relationships. We want these things that we want to have in the world, We want to get married. We want to have kids, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes we didn't listen to our intuition, and we weren't, really standing up for ourselves and We could have been in more codependent energy. And there's a lot of people in the world who are like, oh, you haven't learned to love and believe in yourself, or you're kind of caught up in the illusion and these things of the world. Me too. Let's get in a relationship. Let's get married. And then it's like, and we all can have been unstable at different times in our life. We all could have not known our worth and value, just all these things. But then we go through that life experience. When we know better, we do better. As we learn to get more clear about our truth and appreciate what we bring to the table, and more connected in maybe with listening to our intuition and our more creative, inspired nature, there's going to be some people in our life who don't like it because they don't want to move forward in life that way. Maybe there's things they would need to emotionally distance themselves from, quit indulging within themselves and other people, and they're maybe not willing to emotionally distance themselves from those things or give those things up. Maybe they'd have to stand up for themselves and have good boundaries within themselves, and maybe they're not there yet, and maybe they never will be there yet. Maybe they have a lot of lessons to learn, and they haven't learned them yet. Maybe they are, with this over here, the Tower card being the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles in Taurus energy can represent what our philosophy of life is. Is it more about ourself and the world and ego and indulgence and, our more immature worldly nature? Or have we learned lessons in life to be more balanced? That yes, I do want these things of the world, but I also want to feel proud of myself. And I want to be in deep, meaningful, loving relationships. And that requires that I don't live in fantasy land, that it's kind of more about me. If I'm going to work together with other people, they have their ideas of what they want to create too. And if I don't want them to think it's mainly more about them than me, well, then I shouldn't think it's more about me than them. And everybody has to have good boundaries within themselves. Everybody has to do this inner work to work through these things that manipulate them. Their pride, their ego, their fear, their insecurity, other people in their life that can manipulate them, the world that can manipulate them. Do we have good boundaries within ourselves? Have we grown and matured and healed? And some people are like, I see you've changed. You can leave. I might even do things to try to get you to leave. Sometimes we can wonder when we're in a relationship with a person, like, why are they acting like this? All of a sudden it seems like they're doing these things that are just maybe out of character or weird or whatever. It's like, why are they acting so stubborn? And, it's kind of like our we're trying to figure out why they're doing what they're doing. And, then they can try to triangulate us with other people, even if that's friends and family members, work, whatever, and it can all be to make us feel defensive, to make us focus back on them, because it's kind of a shadowy way of trying to get people to pay attention to us. We had the free will choice to be truthful and honest and, reveal what the things were that were bothering us. But some people don't have good coping skills, So then they might do things that aren't conducive to a relationship moving forward in a just and fair, healthy way. And so then, they rely on these other tactics. And eventually, for a long time, people can keep trying to work on the relationship because they're defensive. They could want to leave, but they're defensive of leaving for a lot of different reasons. They could have been a friend of ours that we've had as a friend for a really long time, and we thought they were going to be in our life, all of our life, in the Ten of Pentacles. They could be people that are, maybe we had a more close relationship with them in our family, and why are they acting like this? It could be a job where all of a sudden, what's going on? Why are these people acting like this, or this person acting like this? If we have a job, a friendship, a relationship, we want them to work so we can keep putting in work and effort trying to figure out what the problem is to get people to move forward with us. But eventually there comes a point in time where, people have to be held accountable for their actions, and we also have to deal with the truth. If they were more motivated and inspired to, the Eight of Cups is going to the Nine of Cups, and that can be about emotional wish fulfillment, like bringing a dream into reality. The Queen of Swords is about bringing this dream into reality. I thought we were putting in work and effort to bring this dream into reality, but you seem to be stopped right here. Why? I thought we were on the same page. I thought we were both going to protect and stand up and defend and work together cooperatively for this long-term stable environment and relationship that we've created. But sometimes I view a person's King of Swords as, again, like their self-protective nature. Sometimes people can be in relationships with people for a long time, but when and it's kind of like indulging in a relationship, and you could be in a relationship with them for decades. But when it gets to be where they would really have to become more independent in the world, independent of some other things in their life or people in their life, and part of that can just be their self-protective nature. This is going in the danger zone. This is no more me just indulging in this relationship. I am starting to look at life differently. I'm starting to feel like I'm entering the danger zone of getting really emotionally invested in you. And it's really kind of sad to think of being in a relationship with someone for a really long period of time and they weren't really that emotionally invested. But, we can tell ourselves all sorts of things. People can be in relationships and marriages and children with people, and they're still telling themselves, no. I am not really emotionally invested in these people. I could walk away at any time. No, not really letting and then we kind of can feel emotionally manipulated in a relationship. Like, do you love me, or do you just kind of use your emotions manipulatively, and your foundation is more about having intimacy and sex with people, but you turn your back on love? And that's when some people kind of see through the illusion of a relationship. I think you have some issues to deal with because you seem to be very defensive to really being the Seven of Wands here, Leo energy also, about being more authentically yourself, being more authentic and loving and warm. We can all get in a relationship and it can seem great for a long time, but eventually it's kind of like, are you in this for love, or is it more the ego, the image, the status, the money, the materialism, having the marriage, having the kids? But is it love? Do you live more from your mind than your heart? Was this just all made practical, logical sense? It worked for you? Is my dream ever going to come into reality? Are we going to have a deep, meaningful relationship and move forward where this relationship grows and matures over time, and there is no template and rule book? We're listening to love and intuition to guide us as we move forward. And that's when some people leave. And some of the people want you to leave. And they're trying to get you to leave. Because they have their own way of viewing life, ways of wanting to live life, probably a way that makes them feel stable and grounded within themselves. If we were ready to live life being more bold and brave and confident, we would. Sometimes when some people are ready to do that, other people aren't. And we just need to accept the truth of that. that they might like to live life more from their worldly view of life or their mind, their ego, their defensive nature, liking to more about indulging themselves, like sexually in a relationship, but not really doing love. And that's when some people leave. Because I have a dream. And I want to be in relationships with people. I view the King of Pentacles as Capricorn energy. I want to be in relationships with people who have freed themselves from the things that manipulate them to be an emotionally mature, loving, nurturing, supportive friend and family member and co-worker and romantic relationship, you know? Everything within its appropriate context, right? And if that's not your dream, and your dream is to keep moving forward, shadowy 8 of Cups going to the 9 of Cups is you just want to keep indulging in living your life like this, continuing to be defensive, or defending this other foundation. You know, sometimes people can marry people and you're like a third party to them and their family. Well, you can marry them and you can have children with them, but we're the primary group that your loyalty should be with. Don't ever become independent of us. If those people are not kind of doing life the way we do it and maybe letting us manipulate and control them, well, we manipulate and control you. So if anybody's going to go, it's going to be them. And that's when you kind of realize too, like, oh shit, I'm like a third party here, aren't I? Even though I could be the marriage partner. You know, the loyalty is not with me and the family that we created. Your loyalty is with your friend group or your original family group. And you're not willing to stand up to them and live your life more independently of them. Well, as long as those people manipulate you, and if I'm in a relationship with you, then I have to let those people manipulate me too. And those people don't manipulate me. So I'm leaving, and you enjoy your life, living life with whoever and however you want. That's not wish fulfillment to me. Might be wish fulfillment to you. Everybody's different. So I wish you peace, and I'm moving on. My foundation is inspired to go on a new journey. Go find people who are more on the same page as me. And then I think for the people that kind of already went through that, now they're kind of transforming the energy to complete the cycle. We can initially detach from people, but we do have these deep emotional, complex emotions about people. And then we have to do this work within ourselves to free ourselves more emotionally from it so that we're ready to have this new beginning. And that can be like the second tower. And it could be more of a tower for the people that we detached from previously. It's just you finally really detaching from being stuck about it and having to wrap your brain around it. You did wrap your brain around it, and now you're ready for this new beginning. So the 9s and the 10s in tarot can talk about completing a cycle. You learn the lesson you're meant to learn from that life experience, and then you're ready to have this brand new beginning. Dropping the burden, dropping the stress, dropping, you freed yourself from it, and you're ready to move forward to authentically live your life differently because you're not the same person that you were before. Some of the other people definitely could feel betrayed that you did this work within yourself to love and believe in yourself, and that you weren't going to let them and other things and other people manipulate you. If they're not willing to move forward to really bring this dream into reality and be more independent of the things that manipulate them, then you're going to stand up for yourself and you're going to move forward. And some of those people are mad at you. They think you should live your life like this. They think that's good. It works for them. They're happy living life like that. They think people should maybe want to stay in a relationship regardless of what these things are, or maybe some shadowy traits or characteristics that they have. But you stood up for yourself in your dreams, and you gave yourself that cup of love to believe in yourself and detach. And then you're doing this work within yourself to heal, to let it go so you can have this new beginning. And then as you're moving forward, you're reaching out to other people in the world who you think are on the same page as you. Some of those people will move forward with you and stand up and defend you. And some of the people won't, because they're not on that page either. And some of the people you thought would be on that page with you, and they're not. So what's coming up? What's coming up for some people that harness some high vibe Capricorn energy that they might not see coming? The Two of Cups, because of the Lover's card. When you quit investing your time, energy, and effort, which is like the the Ten of Pentacles, in people who aren't moving forward with you in this way, you're only investing your time, energy, and effort into people who are on the same page as you. And I think you're going to have these loving relationships with people who realize that love is a free will choice. Some people could think it's optional. I want these things of the world, or I want to be indulged. I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. I just want to be in a relationship where I can indulge myself in a relationship. Okay, they just need to find someone who's willing to do that. Other people want to do love. Okay, what's coming up? Well, I guess I wanted to look at this. How would the shadowy people do this energy? Well, I don't think things are going to turn out for them quite the way they think, because they could have these issues within themselves that they don't deal with, and it keeps them like tipped out of balance. It's an unstable foundation that they're operating from, because love is a stable foundation to build our life upon. But some people are building their foundation more on pride and ego and indulgence and money and materialism, and they're sure that those things and living their life like that's going to make them happy. But then, you know, they keep getting in relationships, maybe more trying to emotionally manipulate people or for ulterior purposes other than love. And eventually people call judgment on them, you know. We either are authentically who we say we are, and it's people who try to present themselves like a King of Pentacles in the world, male or female. I'm this stable, grounded, emotionally mature, loving, nurturing person that anybody should want to hire, go into business with, be friends with, or marry. And then you get in a relationship with them and you find out they're not who they said they were. And that they could use like their sexuality and their emotions and their emotional nature just to try to manipulate people. They live more from their mind than their heart. It's like all a strategy to manipulate people. I don't really want to be that type of person, but I'm going to create an illusion that I'm that type of person. And then they wonder why people don't want to stay in a relationship with them. Well, people don't like to be manipulated. People want people who are being authentic and loving and truthful and just and fair. And some of these people, you know, their idea of what they think is just and fair is different than what other people think is just and fair. You know, and eventually people don't want to be in relationships with them anymore. But they keep not wanting to see the truth. We either deal with the truth and the truth sets us free. We let go of some old ways of viewing life. Some stubborn ways of viewing life. We got to get out of our ego to even admit that we have lessons to learn. And some people, they keep letting go of enlightenment. Nope, I am not going to deal with the truth about myself or the people that I align with in my life. I'm going to keep being inspired to indulge myself in the world. And I'm going to go try to find the people in the world who I think are on the same page as me, who view life like I do. If I'm prideful, if I'm materialistic, if I'm more about ego and image, I'm going to go try to find those people. Some of those people are getting out of a relationship right now because the people they were in a relationship kind of wanted them to do some, look at life a little differently. And they're like, I refuse. I think I know someone. I might know some people who I think live life the way I live it. I'm going to leave this relationship and defend my way of viewing life, and I'm going to go find someone else to indulge in a relationship with that I think maybe views life the way I view it. And that would be a just and fair relationship. They should be authentically who they are. Quit trying to present themselves as something that they're not. What's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly or shadowy Capricorn energy that they might not see coming up? The Seven of Swords, because of the Chariot. Well, for one thing, what they didn't see coming, some of the people, they're not being truthful and honest, and they are being deceptive and manipulative. And some of the high vibe people in their life are starting to listen to their intuition because they're more motivated and inspired by love instead of the ego or the image or the money or the materialism. The Chariot is Cancer energy. We're either authentically operating from a foundation of love, or we just try to present ourselves as someone who's loving, but we're more about the ego and the image and the indulgence. And we're trying to deceive and manipulate people. But, you can fool some people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And if other people that they get in a relationship with are motivated and inspired by love, they're kind of connected in with their emotions and their intuition. And eventually they start to listen to their intuition. That, I think, because the Seven of Swords is also Aquarius energy, I think what we're driven and motivated by and our idea of the dream life and the dream relationship is different. And my intuition is telling me to love myself and believe in myself, that we're not on the same page. And I'm going to go find people who are on the same page as me. And they did not see that coming. They didn't think people would get out of their ego, because we can all, again, get in relationships. There can be some pride and ego involved in it, like, oh my gosh, yes, we've been dating 2 or 3 years or whatever, and we'd like those things to work. But eventually, people see the truth that you're not in it really for love. Or, something. The other people listened to their intuition and they loved and believed in themselves and got in the driver's seat of their life to distance themselves from these people. And some of those people it's just happening to again. It's like, shit, I never thought that person would do this inner work to get balance within themselves or love and believe in themselves, or I'm not willing to let go of these things of the world. These things are really important to me. I am shocked they were willing to give up these things of the world, or me, if they're full of themselves. I can't believe, because I think I'm all these things, that somebody wouldn't want to be in a relationship with me, And other people got out of the illusion and they're moving away from them. Another thing they might not see coming is there might be some other people who do want to be in a relationship with them. But those people might be just like them. Even worldly, egotistical, materialistic, manipulative, deceptive people like to be in relationships with loving, nurturing people. We all thrive best being in relationships with people who are self-disciplined, who are loving and nurturing and just and fair and loyal and committed and encouraging. On one hand, some of these people let go and wanted to get rid of some loving people in their life, thinking they'd be happier being in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. Some of those people are getting in a relationship like that, and it causes them mental conflict because, or someone else kind of presented themselves as a loving person, but they're really not, And then but then they could be tempted to stay in it because of the money or the status or the image. But now it's kind of like the shoes on the other foot. Now they're in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. It's like, oh. And some of them could just be seeing the truth now. It's like, oh, you presented yourself as this loving person, but I kind of see that you're maybe kind of about yourself and kind of stubborn and maybe more about the ego and the image. And, I kind of want those things too, but now I'm in a relationship with someone else who maybe lives more from their mind than their heart. And I know you're not in a relationship with me because you love me, and it might seem practical and logical to you too because of the status and the image or whatever. And part of me would like to walk away, but I have a hard time. If you're willing to stay in the relationship with me, and we are both driven and motivated by these things, it's just that neither one of us is very authentically loving. We both try to create this illusion that we're these loving people, and that's what the 8 and 9 and 10 of cups can be in shadow, is people who are creating this illusion of, look how wonderful and loving our relationship is. But it's just an illusion, a facade. And they would have a really hard time getting out of it if they're really more motivated by looking like a shining star in the world, and the ego and the image or the money or the social clout or the attractiveness of someone, It's like, shit, I'd like to leave you, but damn, And then they end up moving forward in a relationship that maybe causes them a lot of mental conflict because they know they're not that loving and giving of a person, maybe. They're more about living more from their mind than their heart. And then they find out they're in a relationship with someone just like them, another person who's strategizing. Well, you are right. This does look good for our ego and our image and our status, and we both like to indulge in these same things. It's just that neither one of us is very loving. But we do have all these things of the world. And so then, and some people could have thought, if I have someone to have sex with, that's just like love, right? And then they realize and could have thought, I'll just be in a relationship with anyone and have, whoever has the things of the world that I want, I'll go have sex with them, because that's kind of what the King of Wands energy can be, male or female. I'll just use my emotions and my sexuality. What the hell? I'm having sex with someone. I can enjoy sex with anyone, so long as it gets me the things that I want. But I think that's when people realize they kind of deceived themselves. It's much different to be in a relationship with someone who's authentic and loving versus someone who's having sex with you to kind of indulge you in a relationship. So for the people that aren't in mismatched relationships, there are people, which I probably did talk about, that they could just be overcoming something that was causing a problem in a relationship. And they've kind of done this work, maybe within, the different people in our life, to realize why they did feel stuck. Maybe they were kind of tempted to think it should be more about them, or maybe thinking they should leave or whatever. But then they look at it and they see, I have these loving, nurturing, just fair people in my life. Or why am I staying in something where I do feel stuck and where I do feel defensive and I do feel people are manipulating me when I could get in a relationship with people who are loving and warm and nurturing? Just depends on where people are at. But if people are in a matched relationship, they don't get tempted by illusion, and they don't let other people in their life try to manipulate and control them to make them more of a priority in their life than the people that they're currently working with in a relationship. And if they're in relationships with people who inspire them to love and believe in themselves, and those people are just and fair, then everybody holds themselves accountable and everybody keeps moving forward in the energy of love. But there will always be some people in the world who are kind of tempted, and it can be, to teach them to appreciate when they do have loving people in their life, to do this inner work within themselves, because some of these people right now and other people have in the past let go of loving people, and those loving people moved on. And for some of those people, that can be a tower moment. They could have gotten out of kind of a more shadowy relationship, thinking, after they got out of a loving relationship, thinking that the loving people would want to reunite with them and move forward with them again. And the loving people in their life are like, no, I'm not interested. And I'm defensive to you. When you were in a relationship with me, you didn't appreciate it. And so you obviously have some lessons to learn about appreciating loving people. And so I'm going to go find, or have already got into, some new relationships, and I'm going to focus on those relationships. And the same thing can happen to us. We've all got lessons to learn. We could have gotten out of a relationship where we had to learn some lessons. We could communicate to some other people. Some of those people are like, sorry, I moved on. I'm glad you learned lessons that you needed to learn, but I'm not an option anymore. And we deal with the truth of that, and we keep moving forward to find the people. And now we've learned lessons. Boy, when I have somebody who seems to work with me in a just and fair and cooperative way, I better work through my issues so that I don't let someone like that go again. And that's all about learning these lessons in life. So, there you go, Capricorn energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.